nutrition at all as a topic is more rising and it's getting more important. People are taking more attention of that. Actually, of course, many food is poisoned from glyphosate and everything, from the Monsanto company or whatever they do with our food. It's mainly not good for us, for our health. So I think that's very good to take more attention about our food and what we consume at all. But of course, this sort of energy system, which we have as well, which is part of our consciousness, I believe in that as well. It's very important to spread this idea more and to, I think, combine the Western and the Eastern world, because they are kind of separated, or we don't have like the same similar words. For example, do you believe in the chakra system? Do you perceive them in some ways?
Well, my reality since I've been source-fed, one of the things that I've had to look at is, how is this possible? When I clicked into it, I had no idea. And I'm an energy field scientist. So I really like to study experientially, because I was experiencing something many people said was impossible. And then I want to know how. And so I'm really interested in the 99.99999% space in the atoms, and that every atom operates like a chakra. So I don't do individualized chakra reality. I'm very much interested in the work of Nassim Haramein, who has, as a metaphysician scientist, he's proven that every atom is operating like a black hole, and he's now doing the mathematics to prove that it operates like a white hole. For me, it depends whether you're receiving or sending out radiating energy, because this source energy, what I call essence, which is what feeds us, is vibrating through that 99.9% space. And then I'm interested in the attributes, the experiential attributes of that space. And, it has attributes like wisdom, this endless flow of wisdom. It has attributes that I'm in love with, which is love. When I was 16, I just got overwhelmed by this divine love. And I became addicted to it. I've been so interested in this triggering of an amplification, in this release of this pure frequency of the greatest love we can ever know, from which all other love comes, and benevolence. There's this energy, this 99.9% vibrational space that's not space, that's consciousnness, is benevolent. It's powerful, it's transformational. And it can nourish us. It can nourish us physically. It can nourish us emotionally and mentally and etherically. And, turning up the volume of this is an amazing thing, because it lets you experience more of the natural magnificence of the human design. And nourishment's everything these days, because if we don't feed ourselves well mentally, and that's one of the things I think is the biggest thing to look at now. What are we feeding ourselves with mentally? Because when I wrote the book In Resonance, we talked about, or shared research of, that we are built to think before we feel, and our perception, our models of reality trigger feelings. So we can trigger through thoughts and how we perceive fear, sorrow, loneliness, and all of that drops our immune system, so we become physically vulnerable, and all sorts of diseases can happen. So we need to really feed ourselves well mentally with energies that are mental realities and models of reality that uplift us, that unify us, that allow us to relax in life and live as much as we can in the rhythm of peace and harmony inside ourselves and with all sentient life. So nourishment, yes, that's a huge one, especially mental nourishment. And on a physical level, I just love the work of Dr. Zach Bush, because I'm a great one in sharing people's research. People, they might spend 30, 40 years. For me, it's been a lifetime of experimenting and playing with energy from the time I was 7, and I'm now in my 65th year. So I have a lot of research experience, and many others do, like Zach Bush's research in a plant-based diet and the benefits of this and how it eliminates so much physical disease. Now that's a very, very important field of research.
Wow. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Like the studies which come together from every point of view from the science, like they are shaking hands, like the quantum physics shaking hands, with the biophysics, and yeah, it's getting more and more esoteric. Actually, the true science. It's fantastic. But with your point of view, you're very far. You're talking like very huge master, to be honest, because you're like talking beyond the chakras. You're beyond the chakra system and beyond like yin and yang and dualism, so to speak. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
I might.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, yes, my focus is the formlessness, the vibrational construct of formlessness as it flows through form. Because that's the conclusion I came to when people started to say to me, one, I either don't believe that you can be nourished in the way you're talking about. Most people think we're not eating, but we eat all the time. We just eat differently. So we're eating from this essence ocean that's flowing through us, that the cells are like just magnetically drawing whatever they need from the formlessness. So the experiential diving into what I call stasis. Now, stasis is silence, stillness, solitude. And all the ancients have talked about this, and there's so much commonality in all spiritual traditions, as all of you will notice from all the talks that you'll be sharing in this Masterpiece series. And I thought when I was young, I want to know experientially the commonality of all these traditions. Forget the differences. Let's go for the things that bind them all. And I want to know the truth of this experientially, not just here, because it's not enough to study wisdoms. You have to literally incorporate it. And as you can increase the purity almost by your focus on it, because that's quantum, that's the unified field. What you focus on, you will end up drawing back to you, because we're a system of energy. Energy sends out a collection of vibrational signals which trigger a response from the unified field, which is the old we create our own reality idea. So if we open with an intention to say, I want to experience the truth of the commonality of all the spiritual traditions on earth that are operating for the highest good of all sentient life. If it is for me to experience, I want to have this experience, this beautiful quantum field or unified field responds. If you say, I want to experience the magnificence of this human design, not just think about it, study it, or talk about it, but I want to know what this energy construct is really capable of when it's operating at its highest potential. You hold that intention, you put it out there, and you get all this benevolent, loving, unified field support. But if you can't think it, you can't have it almost. You got to be open. You got to be open-hearted. You got to be open-minded.
Mm-hmm.